Yeah, there we go.
Lower.
Just so you know that the technical aspects of this thing is complex. But I'm going to introduce our feature of the evening, Nanette Dietz. And I ask you to do something. Okay, I'll give her a round first, and then we'll do more. I ask you to close your eyes for just a moment, since your poets, you know how to do that. So do first graders. And you know something special is coming when I tell them to do that, so I want you to think of a time, and of course you've done this, where you've seen a pebble or something fall into a still little pool of water, and something drops in and the ripples go out. And for a moment you see a series of ripples there, 7, 8, a dozen. And what we're about to hear is someone who has a ripple effect, and by that I mean she has stories about herself, who she is, and what she is, likes, dislikes, preferences, and that's to be expected. You poets do that. But there are further rings to that. There's also family, friends, and ancestry. There is also then the further ripples that include community, us here, the city, the Bay Area, San Francisco, California, ripples that reach to the farthest reaches of our continent, and then of course the world. And you think, why stop there? There's the moon, there's Mars, there's the entire universe. The ripples go on and on. She touches the largest aspects of what we know as our consciousness. She also is here before your very eyes, standing on the ground we are standing. We are going to be hearing her voice. And you might say, oh, this word or that word is a small word, but together they orchestrate, bring forth new perceptions, and you will be wowed. You will be wowed. I would like a nice solid round of applause for Nanette Dietz as she comes up here and does her thing.
Thank you. What a wonderful introduction.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I actually planned that.
I hope I can live up to that.
No, you already have.
Wow. What a wonderful group. I'm honored to be here. You guys are so welcoming and friendly. Wonderful. Well, I do write a lot about being Native American. I am Lakota, Dakota from Crow Creek in South Dakota on my mother's father's side, and Cherokee and Scotch Irish, and there's a little French on the Dakota side on my mother's side, and then German American on my dad's side. Both parents, and that was their first language. So I write a lot about that, and I'd like to start with a poem that I wrote. Actually, I wrote it for my grandfather when he passed many years ago, and this is something that was a big loss to our family, personally, because he was a code talker during World War II. Oh. There were many code talkers, all from the different tribes, not just one. I think Hollywood has kind of confused that with the Diné or the Navajo, but actually all of us were. Anyone who spoke their language at all could, was used as a code talker. And so I wrote this one for him, and I'm going to read a little of it in my own language, in Lakota, and then I'm going to switch to English, just because I like to practice and I don't get to hear it a lot anymore, and I forget, and it's hard to do that.
Thank you for that.
So it's called Wo Okiksuye, Kenneth James Bradley, Wanagi Omagi, Kage March 24, 1976. Wana Alameda Namataha, Wika, Akama, Meni Ona Wanakun, Shinkalalowan, Sitan Sinte Luta, Kehanska, Wakinila Nakangi. Otunwahe Shlowawi Chinshnile wo Oti Teherki. Mitakuye ki unspaya mano uniki Lakota Dakota, Toshke Kaga Mimi Yelaki, Toshke Chunku, Ishnala Iyanke Nahan, Ayazampa Ipa Panke, Yeya Unki Pazole Utaki, Toshke Opawenge Nahan Isa Globan, Ken Unspe Unkiyapi, Kiksuyape, Tohan Shupa Kisapeki, Kiksuyape, Wihape Oyateki, Kiksuyape, Toske wa Oyake na Aihata, Unspe Unya, Kiksuya, wa Olowan Wachipe, Olowan Nawachipe.
Wow.
I'll translate that. Thank you for listening. I live on an island now, surrounded by the sounds of water. Songbirds, red-tailed hawk, blue heron, egret, blue jay, and crow. Here is where I deny urban reality, this new world. My relatives taught me early the trick to Indian survival. How to make a square a circle. How to make concrete, cars, and pain disappear. They taught us how to look at our land and see it as it was 525 years ago. Ken taught us to remember the season when choke cherries ripen, to remember the stars and the star people, to remember the gift of knowledge passed through a good story and a good joke, to remember to sing and dance, sing and dance, sing and dance. Mixed race woman, mixed race man, caught in the gauze between two worlds, our mind and senses the only means of escape. But scar tissue lays thick and deep, too many broken promises, broken treaties, broken hearts, loved ones taken away or leaving us behind, has made our eyes weak, but our hearts sharp and clear. Our hearts sharp and clear. Deer, wolf, bear, tatanka, buffalo. Pt2 adomi takoyasa. Thank you. That one's always a little bit tough. This next poem is one that I wrote very recently for an exhibit that you're all invited to, and I would love it if everyone could attend. I'll let Dan know the date. It's in Oakland at the Intertribal Friendship House in November, and it's a big art, music, poetry exhibit all together, dealing with Indian lands, Alcatraz, kind of like just all of those land issues. So it should be very good, and I would love it if everybody could attend that's here. I think all you poets would really enjoy. There'll be some wonderful poems.
Too.
That too, yeah. This, I think, I'm not sure of the date. I have to go home and look at it.
Okay, then I will send it out.
Yeah, please do. It would be lovely. I know you would all really enjoy it. And it's the first time we've included poetry. So I'm really, really happy. Yeah, usually it's art, just art together or music. And this time we decided let's put it all together, which is great. So this poem I wrote for that exhibit, and I actually kind of wrote it when I spent a week and a half at Standing Rock, and so I was there at the end of September, and it was still very beautiful, even though very difficult. And for me, it was kind of a homecoming. I got to meet the chairman of my tribe and kind of hang out with everybody there, and a lot of folks were there from California, from the Bay Area particularly. So it was really, really wonderful just to see everyone, there and together and in unity, resisting, and that was before things got really, really pretty bad. So I call this one Our Ancestors' Wildest Dreams. Mniwichoni, sacred water, used as a weapon. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. We heard the call. We followed the drumbeat by plane, by car, by bus, by foot. Our veterans gathered. Together we danced, we sang, we prayed, we fought. We shared food and fire. We are our ancestors' wildest dream. They set their dogs on us, chemical weapons, bullets once again. Still, we gathered at Standing Rock, created a village of resistance to bury the black snake, to send it back into the ground. Mniwichoni, sacred water, We are our ancestors' wildest dream.
Oh.
This next poem I've been working on for some time, and I haven't really yet finished it, but I'm going to read it anyway. If I ever get a book of my own poetry out, which I'm hoping to do, I think I'll entitle it. It's called Dancing Between Reservations and the Kaiser's Palace. And I wrote it as a musical piece in 4 suites. Suite 1. All of us gathered together, sacredly unrolling the sky blue felt that cradled Grandma's turquoise. Sometimes we worshipped at the only shrine remaining, transformed by sweetgrass and sage into a mutant tribe, dancing somewhere between the Hartz Mountains and the Missouri River. In the summer, we were welcomed back by strange trees that sprouted red, cloth-wrapped tobacco flowers. Grandpa, why do we play baseball all day? Where are the teepees? Why do our relatives live in houses of tin and cardboard? He would just laugh as he moved our spirits toward a talking stone or a still, warm, breathing tree. Suite 2. Gnarled arthritic knuckles, holding a pen of quill feather lightness. Mysterious calligraphic markings Grandpa said were from Wittgenstein in High German. Stories of the Hartz Mountains and tales of a visit to the Kaiser's palace, where Grandma, frightened, took refuge behind her mother's skirt. Her girlhood days spent bandaging squirrels, and parakeet patience foretold her future in America. Grandma's bedtime stories about nights spent in closets by candlelight, deciphering a strange, new language, while I was lulled to sleep by the soft, still remaining accent she tried so hard to hide, now ashamed of the origin of her mother's tongue. Suite 3. One grandma telling stories of immigration, while another grandma and grandpa told stories about being here, surviving, of winters spent trapping, of summers riding the Indian rodeos. Stories from both about how to walk upon this earth reverently. Suite 4. So many seasons spent dancing between Crow Creek and the Kaiser's palace. Now they've left me standing alone in their sacred circle. I gather their stories like sweet berries. I listen for the sound of their language, laughter, and songs, and wrap them around me like a shawl as I dance in their memory. I co-host and coordinate and host, I guess, the Alameda Island Poets Reading Series. And I wrote, where is this? Oh, I'm going to find it. I wrote this one. We do a writing workshop, and we had a wonderful teacher. It was really great. And so I wrote 2 of these from that workshop. I'm going to get them out here. And the one I wrote, because it kind of reminded me again of what all of the women have been doing for the last, I don't know how many years, gathering together all these resistance movements, including, I Don't Know More from Canada and Standing Rock. We were all started by women, actually.
And the oil walk.
Oh yeah, Penny's a very good friend of mine. Yeah, all of the resistance to the oil. We've had those walks now for 4 years.
Yeah.
And they're very successful. And so I thought, well, I'm going to write about women.
Woo!
Women. And all the wonderful male supporters we have too, because we really couldn't do it without everyone. It's called She Rises.
Yeah.
Again, she rises, like so many times before this world. She forms herself once more and emerges from the continuous flow of ocean currents and the swirling rivers as they meet each other. She rises from the dark, rich soil of earth and embraces clouds forming low over land and water. Dancing with the joy of connection, she rises up as the north wind caresses her and wraps her in a protective shield, in a protective blanket, like a shield against another new world.
To go you with the cap comes from that,
And the next one I wrote is called Spider Song. Each morning as sunlight warms soil and creates tiny rainbow slivers of color, on each new dewdrop, my dark legs stretch out to capture a foothold. As I stretch each leg, last night's dream shapes a dawn design. I weave all thought into woof and wharf, creating a new world filled with complexity and delicacy. This new weave connects water, soil, air, and life into intricate patterns, infinite in diversity. Thank you. Elamiaye. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, this is actually a song. It's set to music and instruments, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm just going to read it. It's something that I wrote many years ago when we held a powwow on Alcatraz to kind of honor everyone that was there originally. I think it was in 1994.
Yeah.
I think. And I wrote this for the next generation of young people coming up. It's called Night Eagle. Oh, and I should explain that for the Cherokee folks, the night eagle is the owl because of the vision of the owl. So we don't see that as a bad harbinger of death. Many families, in fact, have the last name Owl. It's very common, so that's why it's been titled Night Eagle. The night eagle landed softly last night, eyes a red amber glow. Among the headlights on the 880, we headed north toward the Bay Bridge. The wind from her wings caressed me. Creator, come to earth that night in owl's form to tell me about you. I already knew. I had been waiting, watching, praying, hoping to find warriors here in the land of the crazy time of the fast-flying wheel, taking us all too far away from our mother, Monola, Earth. Then I saw an eagle dancer, your spirit brother, spirit sister, flying through metal, concrete, and glass. I saw you, and I recognized you. I recognized you. Your strong heart and soft eyes told me you too travel through dreams. We all breathe the same ether of the other worlds. Dream dancers, ghost dancers in this middle land of pain and tears. Creator Wakantanka, send us a dream so we can all dance together. All dance together. I don't know how much time.
You're a little under 4
Minutes left?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just a second.
I'll just read this one more since this is a wonderful cafe. I love cafes. I had to write this one poem about a cafe in Alameda, and then I had one last poem. Okay.
Perfect.
It's called Julie's Cafe. An iridescent half moon divides time between late afternoon and evening. As I open the door, a small bell sings its welcome. Turquoise, ochre, and yellow peacocks painted in lush oils greet me. Tabla drum and flute guide me to tables where painted daisies offer sweet respite. Friends meet and the sounds of conversation wrap me in a warm cocoon. Tea is served here in the old world way. Teapot, cup and saucer, cream and sugar. Gardens beckon, filled with jonquils and geraniums, while a sea of morning glory blue wraps me in color. As one woman spins wool, another knits, while a writer pens poetry. Time slows, decades reverse, and the creative muse takes tea at Julie's Cafe. This is pretty good. I have one last one that I was going to dedicate. Oh dear. To all my friends, California Indian friends that are up in Santa Rosa. Oh dear. We had to cancel this year's 25th anniversary of the Indigenous Peoples Day powwow due to the fire because so many of our dancers were having trouble up there and it was just too much to do it all. So I was going to write this. I wrote this one a long time ago, and I dedicated it to the Ohlone folks. So I call it Alameda Night Song for Huichin, and Huichin is the Ohlone word for Oakland. It literally means that type of tree. So sometimes late at night, the wind carries their voices along Mound Street. From the edge of the bay, over millions of shell shards that mark the detritus of their lives. Shell stories, shell songs, sung from deep in the womb of Alameda. They push their voices up through concrete and asphalt, through centuries of quilt squares sewn over their round houses and basket hats, yet never completely silencing their presence. On nights when the moon hangs low in the sky, stars arrange themselves in intricate tattoo patterns. Stars spin counterclockwise, just like the deer dance. I wake to a song. It is peaceful in its melody and sings of 5,000 years of continual peace. This voice reminds me that Turtle Island has always been a special place, a refuge of fragrance in a world smelling of death. The old ones of the Ohlone told us that the skies here were black with birds. Their songs would drown out all the human wails. You could smell flowers and walk on treetops from Oakland all the way inland. This was a gentle land where a peaceful people lived. Perhaps that is the organic nature of these bones and their presence to stand as a beacon of peace in a world seemingly gone mad. Osada, Osada. Thank you very much. I brought 2 books in the latest anthology that we just published. I'll bring them if anybody wants to buy.
Yes, see her about that. We're going to take like a 6 or 8 minute break. The broadcaster will be silenced, so you can talk amongst yourself freely.
Before that, we have an announcement.
Richard has a quick announcement.
A quick announcement. On the 23rd, this coming Monday, Ramon Sender. I don't know if you know him. His father was part of the fighting against Franco, but he's in his own right. He's in Wikipedia, actually, so look up his page. And if you really like what you got to hear about what this guy is about, he's 80 years old. He will be at the Folio Books, 7 o'clock this coming Monday. Okay? The second thing is, I thought maybe one of the 2 people would be here, but Claire's not, and neither is Greg. People, if you're free on Friday night, sorry, Clyde, I'll be there. Friday, check Clarion Performance Center, the Clarion.
They're doing a benefit for Puerto Rico.
For Puerto Rico, and you know what time it starts?
You can get there at 6. The show starts at 7.
Okay, and you can pay at the door.